everybody.
We're hanging out, figuring out Roll20 here. So
I got an idea.
If any Roll20 experts in the chat chime in.
Hey, Eric,
yes.
Eric, if I were in your position right now, I would just open up a new map and just paste the Briar House onto it fresh.
Did somebody mess up the Briar House map? Is that what happened?
It's the ghosts. No, the guardian spirit. Bo wouldn't mess it up.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And that
no
way-
one's paying attention to me.
All right, here we go.
Roll20 is Eric's like BBEG. It's his like.
Yeah, you guys are all worried about, oh man, there's so many monsters. We got to kill the monsters. Like, no, you don't understand.
You haven't had to try to get the map to align with the grid.
That's right.
But just don't use up all our F-bombs before we even start the stream.
Yeah, I garbled it. I didn't actually say the words. I will argue.
I got mustard on my new shirt.
Oh no.
Oh no. Was that a new shirt,
Oh,
Aaron?
the question
Yes.
Oh,
Cool.
Oh.
I always love wearing new shirts, new clothes,
Yeah, this one's new to me too. I did a massive shop on ThreadUp because if you buy X amount, then shipping is free. So inevitably, I'm always like, oh well, I'll just get a few things. I'll pay the shipping. It's not that much. It's fine. And then I'm like, oh, I'm so close. Just buy 2 more things.
This episode of Dungeon Scroll is brought to you by ThreadUp.
Please sponsor us.
We definitely Stitch Fix, which now you can buy like separate things. So I am curating myself a upscale, these are not pajamas wardrobe for the remainder of the pandemic. So this is a very nice French terry tunic. It's very soft, although now it has a mustard stain on it. Well, okay, I won't say stain because I haven't.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it out yet.
It's not a stain quite yet.
Well, I changed which pair of sweatpants I'm wearing tonight, so it counts for something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I have one pair of sweatpants, but that's mostly because I am such a large, tall person. And they don't build things. They don't make sweatpants in my size typically.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Whoa, have you ever
order
traveled to
them
Asia?
Especially. No, but that would be an interesting challenge.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's any clothes for you in Asia.
Probably not.
No.
Maybe robes.
My grandfather went to England like for a house swap thing, and he was not as tall as Eric. He was tall, like over 6 foot. And he went to buy clothes at a store, and the salesperson ran up to him and said, "No, we don't have anything for you," and like pushed him out the door. So I have to imagine it's definitely like that.
Pushed him out the door?
Yes.
Nice.
He's just like, no.
None of this.
That's the sort of thing I could see happening to myself. So, like, things like that have happened to me. Like, people will show up and be like, and I'm like, I get it. I understand. I know what you're going to say. I'm just going to leave right now, and nobody's going to get hurt. It's fine. Except I was hurt in my heart.
I think the only time that as a short person I've had that kind of heart hurt was my community choir had a rummage sale, and so I took in a bag of clothing for that. And my policy is that I never price my own clothes because I'll price them too high. So I left it over by one person who was pricing. I went to price something else. And so I was wandering by, and 2 women were at my bag pricing things. And one of them held up one of my shirts that I hadn't worn for a while, which is why I called it. But she's like, "Is this a kid's shirt?" And the other one's like, "Yeah, I think it is." And then they moved it over to the kids area. And I was like, "Oh!"
That's wild.
Wait.
I don't think of you as being that short.
Well, I mean, I'm at that time, like it was a conjunction of I was a little bit smaller, and then also the sort of midriff bearing tops were kind of just going out of style, and so it was short on my torso and then kind of small and tight. So it was that sort of like baby tee style.
Gotcha.
So which would not be in style at all now. So it wouldn't be. But I'm 5'3", so shorter than many.
I think is technically average.
I thought 5'6" was average
no, it's
American.
not.
Oh, okay.
And I know
I was
this
like
only
5'4".
because I am 5'5",
Mm.
and my family are giants. I am short. My heart hurt of height is my relatives insisting that surely I would grow some more when I was 17 and absolutely not growing another inch. And I was like, I am taller than average. Which is why I'm also like, you're not short, because if you're short, I might be short. And I have staked a lot on no, I am average.
Yeah, Aaron's got skin in this game for sure.
I think you know Rogar's
But you
opinion.
know, if you're like, whatever, this is my identity, I am petite. That's fine too. You don't
have a
have to
friend
hold
who's-
up my self-image.
I have a friend who's
I
5'1".
I don't think of myself as short because my family, the women are all short. But like the sort of like going around castles because I like historical buildings and like not worrying about doorways and when people around me and also like stores at shelves at stores.
Oh, you were like the
Top shelf.
perfect height for the Winchester Mystery Mansion.
Yeah, I think she was a little shorter than me, but
You haven't lived until you've tried to climb around a submarine when you are 6'7".
I mean, that sounds terrible.
Oh yeah. There were several occasions when I thought I was certainly going to die. Like I would just never get out of this place.
I
I've told you
imagine getting
guys
trapped in
the-
the doorways.
I'd hit my head and I wouldn't be able to get out. And no one would find me. Which of course doesn't make sense because it was a tourist attraction. So inevitably some small child would find me and then be traumatized for life.
Yeah.
I've told you guys the dog door story, right? Like many other small-bodied people, I've gone in through a dog door when me and my friend got locked out of her house.
Awesome.
So,
No,
which
you
is-
haven't told us that story.
I mean, there's not a lot more to it. Like,
These
it
are
was
the
very
hard
much sort of
thresholds.
like I was thinking I was going to reach through somehow. And then I was like, oh, well, I just fit through. So I went all the way through the dog door.
But then they'd rig it so paint cans swung down and hit you and splashed you with paint. And
Well, actually, I don't know if it was anything to do with me, but eventually they did get one of those sort of like enclosed entrances to dog doors that you can either buy or make. That is additionally very small for a long distance, so you can't get a person through that, just a dog.
so,
Telling people what we're talking about so they can talk to us about it.
so what do people think about Hugh Grant being cast as the villain in the D&D movie?
Did they say what he was cast as the villain?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I think an online news source did say that.
It's gonna be what it is.
Yeah, well, he is kind of,
And
that works.
I have to admit,
see it.
I was struck by the picture. I was like, oh, time has passed, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We could
He
probably do
old.
it.
I'm just picturing it's like the Jeremy Irons performance. But I think that
I mean, it could be.
I feel like we should hope for something over here and expect
Right.
something here.
He
Right,
could be
right.
Evil Elminster for all we know.
It's
Ooh.
true. I mean, it could be
Elminster for all we know. Right?
it could be a Lilton type character for all we know.
No.
Oh, what? I do want to
Hugh
see
Grant 30 years
play
ago could be a
Elminster.
little.
Well, yeah.
That would be delightful.
What was that, Aaron? I'm sorry.
I want to see Hugh Grant play Elminster.
Oh,
That's
It'd
insane.
be awesome.
And I love it.
It would be nuts. It would be.
He wouldn't be the bad
wild.
guy, but maybe they're just trying to throw you off the scent.
Did Ed ever talk about who he would love to play Elminster?
I don't. I seem to think that he did. I don't remember who he said though.
I don't think he did that with us anyway, I should say. At least I will say I tend not to ask or like being asked casting questions because I don't think like that.
Hmm.
But I know a lot of other people do. So I wouldn't have asked him that. But Eric, you might have. Also, I'm pretty sure Ed's been interviewed a couple other times. So
Yeah,
I'm sure
I am
someone's.
sure somebody has asked him that question. I don't remember his answer off the top of my head, but I seem to recall he pointed to some gruff Sean Connery like actor, if not actually Sean Connery.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could see it going either way. I could be Sean Connery, but I could also see him like looking in the camera with a twinkle in his eye and saying Ron Jeremy or something. But like, yeah.
Man, my vote is for The
Something
Rock
Deckard
because I want The Rock to
Deckard-
play everything.
Right.
Deckard
Yeah.
Kane Sender suggested Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Ooh,
It's
I
an
like that.
interesting casting. I'm into it.
That's a good one.
We're
Yeah.
not
Haha.
I see that.
Dowsa says, "Why not Ed?"
He's
I
not
mean,
a member
that
of the
would
Screen
be-
Actors Guild, right?
Yeah, that would be amazing. I feel like that's the kind of mischief that Ed would like. Who knows?
I think he wouldn't say no. That's my guess.
They could just do that really bad sort of CGI adjustment, age adjustment, like they did with Robert De Niro in that one thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I do not.
Mm-mm.
There was that recently. There was I think it was like a 3-episode series of mobsters, and he played like this young mobster dude. The Irishman. It's called The Irishman.
Hmm.
Nice.
You can make someone's face smooth, but they still walk like they have arthritis, right? So it wasn't really a successful adjustment a believable adjustment, but
I mean, I've seen some where they've done it like decently, but usually it's when they take like a dude who's like 70 and make him look like he's 50 or something, rather than, like young.
right.
Okay.
43 wants to know, in the Dungeon Scrawlers movie, who do we cast as Rogar?
Yeah.
Jack Black.
Oh, whoa! I love it.
You have
That
a
is
superpower.
not bad. That is not a bad choice.
That's official now. I'm sorry. Randy,
Yeah, it
you're
should be
wrong.
canon. I mean, we can audition other people, but we want to give it to Jack Black.
Really, he's
Right,
offer
already
only,
locked
so I mean, that's actually, I think, delightful. One of the things I really enjoy about Jack Black, like in particular, like the Jumanji movie, right? Like that role in someone else's hands, I feel like wouldn't have worked because they would have been like, okay, you and I both know this is dumb. But instead, he like put his all into it, like wholeheartedly being, I am a teenage girl in the body of a heavyset 50-something man. And I'm doing it. And I'm doing it with like care and love, right? He's not making fun of it. He's like, and yet he's very aware it's a little silly.
Which Jumanji is that?
The
Newer one.
new one. The I don't remember the tagline for it. The one with The Rock, who is also excellent in it.
Yes, yes.
That movie is
that was,
surprisingly great.
I know,
Surprisingly
right?
Welcome to the Jungle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
And then they had the second one, the one that followed that, which was also pretty good, but it wasn't quite as magical.
Well, I imagine I haven't seen the following one, but I imagine once you sort of did that stuff once, then to do it again, you'd need something new. So
The new thing is that they so they get sucked back into the game, or like a sequel kind of to the game, and but it's like the guy's grandfathers, and then
Right.
also some of the original characters, and they all get swapped around. So The Rock is not playing the nerdy teenage boy, he's playing the grandfather of the nerdy teenage boy, and the nerdy teenage boy is like, I want my cool body back. And so when Jack Black is not the teenage girl that everybody underestimates. I don't remember who he starts out as. Anyway, it lacks my favorite aspect of it, which is Jack Black in that. He's been good on other things, but that was the point where I'm like, I'm a fangirl now. That was
I really liked him in School of Rock. I think he was
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
really sympathetic.
I've only seen parts of that movie, but I've seen it like 4 times. So like
Okay.
I've seen a quarter of it 4 times, which I
On
think
what,
adds
planes?
up to about the entirety of that movie. School of Rock.
No, but like, where did you see that same part over and over? Planes, hotels, in your own living room?
Mostly it was babysitting for people.
Ah, okay.
Oh, it's a good babysitting movie.
Yeah.
So we are holding our very first giveaway Thank you for helping us test out this system. I thought it would be much easier to do than it actually is for like legal, logistical, and various other purposes. But you could take a look at the prize over there, and if you
like
want
this,
to,
but it's the Dungeon Scrawler one. You can't have
Yeah.
this one. It's mine. It's a Cecilia one.
you can't have that one. That's not the one we're shipping out. This will be
Yeah.
a fresh one.
But it
Yes,
is
this-
almost as cool as this one because they are all made by Teacup the creator.
Yeah, I have a nice little Mirabelle one. I'm not sure.
No, your camera
Again,
doesn't like it at all.
focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, my camera's on manual focus, so I can't get it to change.
Oh, that reminds me. I get Roomba for this episode, so I got to get my Roomba out without making
here.
my ring light fall over. See, I got a
Here.
Roomba too.
Take it
I
off
was
the
talking
side
to
and
her
I'll
about
hand it
making
to
a
you.
gelatinous cube.
Oh, there you go. Oh.
Invisible.
Did I bring it from the wrong way? I haven't.
I don't know. It's so
No,
hard
it
to
was.
tell on this thing.
Oh, we're diagonally somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
My when it comes to like I'm looking at a mirrored image of myself. So how does that relate to people? I'm toast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's got theirs set to mirror out of curiosity? Everybody?
I think
Maybe.
probably.
I don't even. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Okay.
But I'm borrowing it. No, B-Day was telling everybody IL Champions Presents to turn that off because it's an abomination, and I vehemently disagree. Can't tell me what to do.
Why
Yeah.
why wouldn't you have it?
I have no idea, but he felt that very strongly.
Hmm.
So I feel he
just-
must have his reasons, but he didn't feel like sharing them. He just felt like telling me I had to change it, and I said no.
I just leave it on the default settings and I just get used to it.
I
Why
think
change the
part of it
settings
was
when I
the
can change
concern
myself?
that it would go through OBS and come out mirrored on the other side, but my whiteboard is switched between here and Twitch. So that is what my office actually looks like. I don't write backwards. Although that would be cool.
Yeah, everybody looks like
I'm also not done
what they
doing
would
this.
look like
Mhm.
on Zoom, at least on my side.
I'm also not sure. Like, okay, just looking at the picture, the picture of me, is the whiteboard on your right or left? Does it mirror for you guys, or is it just mirror for me?
It's just mirrored
Whichever
for you, I
way
believe.
I'm pointing.
I'm seeing it on my left.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. Now we know, because nobody would answer me that we were all yelling. So
Is the pre-show
Why
for your
are
other
we
stream just a lot of yelling?
Okay.
it's not really a pre-show. It's more like a waiting for it to turn on. It's not a lot of yelling. It's like, but there's a lot of like fixing this and fixing that. And
I hope it was just
here's
like a
brief,
green
like
room
what's gonna happen.
where you're all just eating snacks and donuts and things.
Well, I went for like 3 or 4 weeks, so I didn't have to adjust my mic, and then now I broke my streak. It's terrible.
I've had my mic on the side of my desk forever. Hopefully it doesn't mess everything up. Also, I just opened a can right in the mic.
It's okay. We have like a ceiling on our audio now, so you can be as loud as you want.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yay! That's what we wanted.
That's not loud at
Yay.
all, Eric.
No. I am trying not to blow out people's eardrums.
It's a good way to be. So do any of us have hopes for season 2?
Yeah. Let's talk.
No
about that.
hopes.
I'll take
No,
no.
just kidding.
Fun.
Oh yeah.
Dragon relative.
Okay.
I can't
I
wait to
feel
burn
like
down Westgate
I
again.
always worry when we're like, here are all the things we hope will happen that it's too much. And Eric's like, oh my god, I can't put all this in, but I'm gonna have to try. It's like, at some point,
Such
I
a
want to go to
good
Rashomon,
idea.
but maybe not now. Maybe they save that.
You know, I was reading about like that there's this one of the greatest Sharindlar shrines is the one that was abandoned over near Waterdeep, but still protected, but it's
Mhm.
like they don't let anyone in. And I think it was part of like a major campaign. I'm trying to think of what it was, like one of the popular ones. But anyway, so I was like, let's go visit that at some point if we're heading over towards Waterdeep or something. And I was like, no, that seems like a whole quality.
mean-
I mean, there's like a lot of little things like that. I agree. Like I'm like, oh, we could go. Oh, we could do. Oh, we could do
Well, I was
But,
teased that we should do like an archaeology thing.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I mean, a semi-abandoned
lots of
shrine seems like an
opportunities.
excellent place to excavate.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Lots of opportunities. Yeah, it's the
I
realms.
just-
You know, It's called the Forgotten Realms for a reason.
Myth
That's right.
War is the perfect archaeologist.
I mean, y'all have to like put up with me being a know-it-all.
Oh, I don't
I will
care.
be like,
Yeah.
you are
That's a
excavating
great-
wrong.
If we're all excavating wrong, can you stop us? Can you handle if we are all monsters at the
desecrators?
same time?
Yeah, I think Stone would definitely go giant ape and just start pulling dirt out of the ground.
Oh.
And Rogar could, earth move or whatever that spell is. He could just like massive blocks of dirt and just like put them over, from,
Well, I have to
Who's in
admit,
Princes
like,
of the Apocalypse for the record.
I was
Oh.
thinking if I was to ever like DM an archaeology thing, like how would I do it? And I'm like, okay, a good DM, like if something some check fails, you need another way to get at the same thing. And I'm like, but if they like start digging and just like dig it all up and throw it away, and then like they have a big hole, like what else am I supposed to do?
Chronomancy.
Huh?
That's
True.
when you have some kind of like djinn or avatar of an archaeology god show up and be like, no, do it over.
Yeah.
I was thinking what spells could be useful for that.
Oh,
You could
mending.
just shatter and just
Mending,
shatter a whole bunch
yeah.
of soil and then make it really easy to scoop up and put through like a sifter. Would that be like legit?
I think you're gonna break Rhiannon right now.
Yeah.
I think you're doing it on purpose.
What about
That
like
could
a?
be so you were asking before yanking about community goals. Is that what am I using the right phrase?
Mhm.
That maybe that's one we should do is archaeology adventure.
Yeah, archaeology one shot. Yeah, we'll throw that up for maybe next week then.
Artemisia's
All
just
come
like
up
your
with
grids are
fun
wrong.
shots.
Well, it wouldn't be Artemisia. I'd need to make an NPC.
I
It can be as much as an egghead as possible and come in and be like, you're doing it wrong. You do that. You do that. Stop.
Yeah. I can't remember. Do Earth Elementals do they have some sort of like burrowing capability in this edition?
I think they can move through like what is that called? Just like through Earth. They do this.
That's the official.
What's the technical term for that?
Yeah, I think they do have the burrowing ability.
Squish.
But they
They
don't wreck
squish
it
through the
up.
ground.
They don't wreck it up. They just
Just the
Yeah.
topsoil kind of.
So
Oh.
maybe that
Move
would be
through.
great for archaeology because
yeah.
they could just scout for
Oh.
you.
They
You should have an
the
Earth
clipping.
elemental archaeologist.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Would they care though? Like what
Mhm.
what
I don't
these
know.
humanoids had been up to?
I mean,
they would be like,
anything
get this
sentient
trash out of my
can have an
ground.
obsession,
That's true.
right? Like if you just move through the ground and you find all this weird stuff that's potentially moving through you or potentially you're bumping into, maybe you're curious instead of annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, I still hold that they think that we're like polluting their Earth, so they want to let us to get all the stuff out of the ground, so it's nice and pure.
Also, like with all of the sunderings and everything, the ground keeps changing. They might be like, we're trying to, figure
Yeah,
out.
what actually now my brain is like rabbit holing, like what would be an archaeological signature of some kind of like event like that? Because you get in Oregon, Mount Mazama, which is now Crater Lake, erupted. So we know when it happened and when there's a layer of the ash, it's called tephra. We know where that is and what happened and when it was, but like when there's not, like what signature would that leave magically? And would it be something that would leave on the sediments in the ground?
Yes. Okay. I love this. Like magical carbon dating. Kind of.
Well,
How much
and could
residual energy from the first sundering remains? How much of it has been disrupted by the spell plague or the second sundering? What does that do? Does it reorient all your magnetic poles? Maybe I have no idea.
well
It could
and
be anything you wanted, really.
would something like carbon dating even even work, because carbon dating, we have to sort of pretend that we're not going past 1950 because that's when the
Right.
big bomb testings were. So that like changed atmospheric carbon isotopes completely going on.
Good point.
We were so in Champions of Lore, we talked about the Chartolin dragon that was added to Idle Champions. And Chartolin is a thing in the realms that is started out, it's like an ore kind, it's like a rock that comes alongside ore, and it makes these sort of like all oval, egg-shaped black things that are really fragile and friable, and but they can hold a spell. And so you put a spell in the Chartolin, and then you can throw it, and it just shatters, and the spell comes out. And so you can do cool things like you can have a shield that's like embedded with all these Chartolins that are fireballs. So someone hits you, and it boom. But the thing is that in 5th edition, Chartolin is now kind of synonymous with something else called Black Ice, which was triggered by
Whoa.
the Crystal Shard, right? But now they're like, well, this is Chartolin. So it's, you have a, in particular, there is an antagonist in Rime of the Frost Maiden who has Chartolin armor and like a Chartolin crown. But if this is something that is so fragile, you can break it by throwing it against a wall. You can't shape that. However, we have this lovely explanation, the grand a wizard did it of all a wizard did it, the spell plague, which I firmly believe you could say changed things on a molecular level where it's interesting. So similarly, you can find something that you could mumble hand wave magic to look at that would leave behind a signature, and knowing what really leaves behind a signature means you can make out something really cool.
That was an amazing lore drop. And
Now we got to do our
That's
little
why the
yeah, I
thing.
want to take us to the recap, but I let you go for 2 minutes longer because it was so awesome. But now we have to really go to the recap, and we'll be back in 3 minutes with the beginning of season